The appeal of an open-air market is universal. The overall sights and sounds are the same whether you're in Devon or Poznan. The traders have something to sell at a price, and the customers want to buy at a price that's lower. The men leave the shopping to the women, content to sit and drink in the sights. It doesn't matter that the babble around him is in a language that has remained a total mystery for 40 years.
I ten bardzo ładny jest, w krateczkę.
That is $3.99. Yeah.
How much that one?
That one?
Yes.
That's for the winter. Because here in England, winter draws on. It is, you're right. We do. I know most of the old ladies. I came out of the army in '53, and I've been coming here for 32 years, and I've seen these old ladies. I've grown up, you know, with them. They're very nice people.
Do you understand them? Do they understand you?
I don't understand a word they say, but all I know is if I say £4, they say £2. If I say that's 2, they say I'll give you 1, and we'll settle for halfway, and we always seem to do a deal. That's all right.
The once-a-week trip to the local town market is for many of Ilford Park's residents the only contact with the outside world. In fact, some of the residents don't even bother with that. Everything they need has to be provided for at the home. Weaving and needlework is both traditional and therapeutic and is encouraged. There's a library of over 2,000 books in Polish, a snooker room, videos of Polish films, a chapel with a resident priest, and a great deal of love and affection. But why didn't these people make the transition to the British way of life? So many of their cousins did, and are now highly regarded for their hard work, industry and success. In many cases, the reason was mental or physical illness, or both. Others were in their late 50s when they arrived, and it was just too late to start all over again, learning a new language and the rules of a new society. And then there was the sheer Polishness of some of them that can never be changed. An example of that Polishness involves the golf course that runs beside Ilford Park, Mrs. Kozioł, and some highly creative problem solving.
This lady was a problem to us in that she was walking on the roads and she had very little road sense, and we were afraid that she was a danger to herself and to the traffic on the road. We tried to persuade her to stop going on the roads, but it failed to work. We tried withholding part of her pocket money, and that failed. And eventually I came across this idea that if she walked on the golf course and along our beautiful grounds, that I would give her 10 pence for every golf ball that she found. Chodź, Pani Kozioł. O, dziękuję, Pani Kozioł. Hold on.
Znalazła.
Dziękuję, Pani Kozioł.
Spasibo, kochanie.
Okej. Dziękuję, Pani Kozioł.
Otworzyć mnie.
Okej.
Kochany Urdinku, otworzyć. To bye bye.
Bye bye, do świdania.
Another example of Polishness can be seen in the acres of neat and highly productive allotments. When the first Poles arrived, they were disgusted at the way the British had created acres of equally neat but totally unproductive lawns. The land should provide food, they said, and despite protests and threats by the original manager and his staff, the Poles dug up the grass and started to plant. The legacy is one of the best market gardens in the southwest. Out here on a summer's evening, it's not difficult to believe that you're in Poland, on a small holding somewhere in the countryside. It's an image of their homeland that Poles cling to.
Does it make you sad that you can't go back to Poland?
Yes, that is true. Everybody like Polish. If I'm born in Poland, I like Poland. But know what to do. It's better there much in England. You quiet, you sleep quiet. There in Poland, if you sleep, you never been sure if you by night know.
The knock on the door?
Don't talk and say, police, you know, please.
But links between these little rooms on a one-time army base in Devon and Poland 1,000 miles away are maintained. The Duchess, as she's known, tries to help her less fortunate cousins in the homeland. A woman born with a sense of duty, her parcels find their way to what's left of her family. Her 2 brothers are long dead. Some of her aristocratic family have disappeared, but there are others who appreciate the gifts of food and clothing from a refugee auntie in another country.
Could you ask Panna Pawlowska why she does this?
Pani Pawłowska, dlaczego pani wysyła te paczki do Polski?
Dlatego, że tego dostać nie mogą. I jeszcze płaszcz jeden. Nie mogą kupić. Mają pieniądze, a nie mogą kupić.
She is sending parcel to Poland because they can't get stuff in Poland. There's shortage of everything, and they have money, but they can't buy the stuff there.
I have some pocket money because I have money sometimes in all for food. Nie wszystko wydaje te 10 funtów na życie. Ubranie to mnie wystarczy na jakiś czas. Więc co zostaje, to ja odkładam i co miesiąc im wysyłam.
Pani Pawłowska is receiving £10 pocket money, and from that she saves some money to make a parcel to Poland.
Each resident has his or her own room. They can be as Spartan as this old soldier's, the only decoration a battered wireless for listening to Radio Warsaw, and a proud row of medals showing the campaigns fought and won, the Polish imperial eagle beside the head of a British monarch. Or they can be as homely as the resident wants to make them. For some of the women, Ilford Park is the last stop on a bewildering journey that has brought them from Poland to a country that has always remained foreign to them.
The wives remained at home to look after the children while the husbands went out to work. When the husband returned home for work, they spoke nothing but Polish. So the only contact with the outside world that they had was perhaps on small shopping trips. And then they tended to favour going to Polish shops in large Polish communities. I mean, for example, in Ealing in London, there's a large Polish community. So their contact with British people was relatively small. So when the husband dies, they're just lost, and therefore they apply to come into this home.
Some of the residents are lucky and still have their families around them, or at least near. The matriarch of the Smolska family has stayed at Ilford Park since 1947, but her children moved out and had families of their own. The most senior member of the family does not speak English. The most junior member does not speak any Polish. The generations in between act as interpreters.
Right. This is my grandmother, Mrs. Anna Boyar. This is my aunt, Mrs. Helen Smolska. This is my mother, Mrs. Rosalia Boyar. This is my sister, Chris Bojar. That's her boyfriend, Terry Castle. That's my cousin, Regina Smolska, and her son, Damien Smolski. I'm Joe, and that's Peter Edmonds, my boyfriend.
Afternoon tea in the tiny room can be a frantic affair. The 2 English boyfriends are only now learning how large a Polish family can be. The Polish and English languages vie with each other, sometimes even sharing the same sentence.